Alright, so we're in week 12, milestone 4. We're at the end of this milestone. It went pretty well. We had quite a few bugs at the end of our build. That was no one's fault. We're working on fixing all of them now, rolling into our next production cycle, which is going to be a little bit light because we want to try to fit everything together and not create work that gets half done between onboarding next semester and finishing up here. So we're looking into that and also getting everything ready for green light and then for when we onboard new people so that they are not lost halfway into a production cycle. Along with that, we're doing pretty good on time management and getting everything together. We're really good on what we promised at the beginning with our full minimum viable product. We got a lot of the structure done, and that's going really well, so we'll be able to quickly and easily implement any content we want with this system going forward. So then I'll let the team take it away on their stand-ups.
So, I'm Alec, and unfortunately I was ill for the most of the time that this build was being done. I have done a little bit of world building and theory for the game, and am hoping to work more on the story as we go along.
Devin Garrett, programmer. This past week I was working on finalizing the combat feedback loop and then getting that implemented for the build. That went, for the most part, well. There were a couple of bugs that happened as we were getting it all put together, but those have been, for the most part, resolved now. This next week is going to be spent squashing the last couple of those bugs and then working on researching additive scene loading for the upcoming semester, for just so that the world can flow smoothly and not have a heavy processing as we load and unload towns, forests, and all of that.
Connor Bish, designer. We mainly worked on developing the node system UI, so when the player has to upgrade their skills or yada yada yada, they can do it as quickly as intuitively as possible.
Randall Pomisol. This week I worked on the node system again, for eternity basically. Working on saving and loading. Had some bugs to fix with that I got fixed today. So next sprint, I'll be working on getting the node system integrated with our white box scene so that we have everything just in one scene instead of all over the place. And that once I'm done with that, I'll be working on commenting my code so that the next designer, programmer, whoever coming along can understand what's going on.
Travis Bodian, programmer. So far I've been working on mainly just the inventory and trying to get that to work all the way, and some bug fixing. I'm just going to continue working on that.
Hello, I am Christopher Kuhn, programmer. This week I spent a lot of time doing the combat feedback loop and getting everything moving around and coroutines working and everything functioning well as a friendly collection of things. Right, bug fixes, and that brings us to the end of today. Things.
Michaela Farrell, lead artist. Basically completed the wilderness. I will be touching up with a couple of the models and stuff as the rest of the semester goes on. But with most of my time, it's going to be the UI that it was basically assigned to me and the splash art for Guardian's Legacy.
Brendan Lima, artist. I was working on a few assets on the list: the chest, bed, and wardrobe. Finishing unwrapping those. Next week, I'm probably going to be cleaning up the folders, organizing them, and working on more assets.
Zachary Patton, artist. This week I worked on texturing most of the assets that Brendan did this week, as well as finishing up the blacksmith and getting that ready to be put into the game. And next week I plan on doing some organization with the file folders as well, in addition to some basic polish.
Peter Dibbles, lead designer. So this week, all the designers were working together on UI overhauls, doing the node UI and as well the inventory, bestiary, all that general player UI. Moving forward, it's going to be kind of polishing that up, documentation, and just cleaning everything up.
Overall, we're doing good, along with all of the stitching together and polish that we're going to be putting into this last sprint. We're mainly going to be doing this for the first 2 weeks, and then the next week, for the beginning of it, we'll be practicing presentations for Greenlight, along with figuring out our roadmap for the next semester and what we plan on accomplishing with that. Otherwise, we're doing pretty good, and we're feeling pretty confident. So that's it for week 12, milestone 4.